So we are going now into the hard part, that is transferring from the bench to the bedside.
Thank you for your presentation. So Lara, I really go fast, but first of all, I want to thank the Discourse in Psychosis, mainly Lena. I want to thank him particularly for the relation that he was able to create in these years, and Marta Bosia invited me, and they accepted because I talked in a recent Italian Congress and appreciate much the work that she is conducting around with the group of Professor Cavallaro, and particularly Valentina Bambini of the Institute here for advanced studies in Pavia. I was linked for family reasons to Pavia, but it never visited this fantastic place. My contribution was strictly related, so a soft evolution of the talk of Professor Stefano Barlatti. So we starting from this very common experience, just in the first episode of psychosis, but also in the preliminary phase of psychosis, so all the period that starts at the end of infancy and the first epochs of adulthood, of adolescence, we have alteration in cognition, but particularly in all psychosis, we have a alteration category fluencies. This is a task, so semantics. We applied the method that Professor Cavallari, Professor Vita has explained well, Barlatti before, of the cognitive remediation, particularly computer-assisted cognitive remediation, based on a very specific, individualized assessment of cognitive environment we create for each patient with the CogPack, the software computerized for cognitive remediation, an individualized project. Despite this, we observed the increase in different areas, also in semantic area, but not as expected. So this is the reason, after a long discussion with other colleagues, particularly Valerio Di Lorenzo, and the project that I am presenting is due to Valerio mainly, that for several reasons was not here today, we created a Co.Di.S. Co.Di.S. esercizi cognitivi di differenziazione semantica, so cognitive exercise of semantic differentiation. This is very original, a sort of proof of concept, preliminary data, only 10 subjects that I will present in the next slide. But it's a very new approach of psychiatric rehabilitation in the line of the cognitive remediation strategies, step care, recovery-oriented, biopsychosocial cultural nature. This is very important for us as a psychiatrist to not to have an increase of cognition, but improvement of the functioning in general, so the recovery. So what we have as an aim to increase the skills of semantic network, so a central element in the interpretation of different situations, and that are alterated in all psychosis spectrum, as I explained before. So in the embedded in our compact rehabilitation program, we added 8 exercises. I hope that is clear, because I understand that it's not clear for me due to some reason. I have the tablet in order to explain better. But again, we added to the 18 or 12 session of CogPack 8 specific sessions based on a rehabilitation on semantics. This is a complex. These are complex sessions. Mainly, the duration is 50 to 60 minutes, 65 minutes, 2 times for a week. And we have an integration of not only cognition, but also psychoeducational element. In particular, in the first 4 sessions on the left, it doesn't work. on the left, we have the cognitive protocol with the semantics exercise and education. And in the 5 to 8 section, the cognitive protocol with the semantic exercise that I explain now in a few minutes. There is an emotional training. So we have in mind that it's important not only the side application aspect in order to explain better to the subjects what they are learning during the process, but also the emotional aspect linked that are present in these steps. The exercise, the cognitive exercise based on semantic, that are semantics embedded, are based on COGPAC, so specific and high level of difficulties of COGPAC process. These are listed 17 to 19, and the task is sequence, and the exercise of COGPAC are time. We take, as I discussed yesterday during the dinner with some of you, other exercises based on semantics that are used in neuropsychiatric disorders, particularly in neurodegenerative disorders. And we have a couple of words or in Tudor list that are based in this block of Demenza 100 exercise of stimulations. It's used in Italy. And also there are semantic training. This is very, very important. Semantic training is starting from a word to a targeting word, and the task is to complete this sequence only if you are able to connect semantically the words. This is not simple for our patients. And the observation after the 5 years or 7 years of work with the COGPAC, that this is not simple despite the increase of cognition in after 18 or 24 sessions of cognitive rehabilitation with COGPAC. So the assessment is based on MCCB, but I will show only some aspect. We have only 10 subjects. In the last months, we completed also an observation 2 months. This project started during at the beginning of pandemic, so January 2020. So we started again only 2 years ago. We also have, I apologize, I'm a psychiatrist, not a linguistic, so linguistic domains, I don't know if it's correct, but we have speech recording in the pre and post-treatment phase, T0, T1, so at the beginning and after the end of this, because we are collecting yet. So I apologize for the absence of error bars, because we try to have in a single scale all the cognitive measure here. So at the end of Co.Di.S, there are significant improvement not only after, but also in the time. And this is very, very important. This is not, the follow-up is T12, so 12 months later. This is not typical, because with the COGPAC, we have a stability, or sometimes after 1 year, there is a slow decrease despite its statistically different respect to baseline, but this is slow decrease. In this subject, we have an increase in different, particularly influence for semantics, but also verbal learning. Also an increase in the Babcock test that is maybe related to the better use of semantic advantage. The stability was also present in the 24 months. And this is a very important aspect for us. Social functioning, because this is our primary aims along with the cognitive. We have an increase after with the moderate to large effect size 0.7 in the total score of life skill profile. We have an increase also in social contact, but also particularly in communicativeness. This is for us very important. Also T24, so 24 at 2 years, this increase was present. there was an increase in this functioning. It is limited, absolutely. We have only 10 subjects. Language analysis, two tasks. FOPA. FOPA is social cognitive complex theory of mind. You know that from FOPA, there is the answer of patients or of the subject, the individuals. We recorded that. We analyze all the FOPA. The other one is the classical master box story. There is a video, and they try to interpret the video. We apply with the collaboration semantic case is an Italian Piazza Copernico, Italian software to analyze at semantic level. That the analysis was very simple, not a complex analysis that I viewed during the last week at Florence. So word cloud, word frequency, and sentiment analysis, very, very simple. Controls the upper workload, sorry, it's in Italian, but I try to explain, and lower there are T0 psychotic at the beginning. So there are absolutely a difference in the T0 controls versus patients. I'm going fast, the time is passing. And after the treatment, there is a different complexity. So the people after Co.Di.S, our treatment, show clearly an increase in words that are related to social cognition. Master box is the word of the group, patients group is very poor, mainly bambina, so the little girl. After there is an increase, there is more characters, there is a better identification of the rule. This is very important for us. Word frequency, the picture, I apologize, is not clear. It's differences in terms of frequency of words. In yellow you have the master box, if I remember well. Yes, a FOPA in purple. And at T1 there is difference, and words like news words emerge and denote maybe a change in social cognition theory of mind. And the last is sentiment analysis. It seems not clear, but I want to comment this sentiment analysis. It was not simple to have very more clear data, single graph, but it's clear that the three groups, because here we have three groups and this is only distribution, no statistical inference and so on, we observe how the density is lower in control group and higher among the patients. And this is very, very interesting. Particularly it increased in T2, so after treatment. And it's a speculation for us, maybe from the cognitive evaluation was when an increase in the replacement. So in other words, the increase of semantic activities may increase the interpretation of the sentiments of this story. On the other end, controls are more limited because maybe the healthy people include feelings such as fear, disgust, surprise, sadness better than the other one. So more sharp. Few comments to conclude. And the perspective, this is a very preliminary result. Only 10 subjects. We are working for complex design in order to characterize well this new approach. But it seems clear that Co.Di.S determine an increase of semantics. Language analysis with activity AI methods integrate standard assessment. This is a very important aspect. What I showed with the semantic case results was not able with the classical assessment. I think that the project that we are discussing now, Discourse in Psychosis, maybe will provide new assessment methods to characterize not only at baseline, but also the outcome of our patients. The real-life method, for example, ecological speech recording could integrate the study of cognition and language in various spaces. We are working about the simple app or the simple recording on WhatsApp. We are trying to analyze that one. And we believe that maybe in the future, we will have time to present our results. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Agree? Yes. Thank you. And then I have another.
We are here for you.
It's from home?
I think there is a problem with the. No, with the microphone. Thank you.
I'm curious about your task. Did you change the content task or did your participants have the same task?
Which sense the change of task?
I'm asking about the task for semantic differentiation.
Oh, the tasks are the same. The tasks are the same. We dedicated much time. So we selected the high level from the, for example, from the compact, the high level of the exercise. So that are complex. But after a little period, so fast period of 6 to 8 sessions of classical compact, we use a specific high level in terms of difficulties, compact exercise. And we do, so we don't change. So we did not adapted the exercise, but we used it in a more complex way. Because there is the psychoeducational approach. We are very active in this process. So this is not a training. So I click on something you are working. So we talk with the patients. There is a technician in cognitive rehabilitation that is very good training. The best courses are here in Lombardy, but also in Italy, in other parts of Italy. And we work much to train this subject to talk with patients in order to explain. So we did not change the task.
The reason why I'm asking is from the psycholinguistics that you have a task effect in your participants learn the task. And is there a way to test it with other tasks?
Actually, yes, we tested with other tasks. No, absolutely. Also, the faux pas we adapted another story, and the same for the Lost and Box. Absolutely. Thank you for your, because I did not explain better this.
Thank you very much for your talk. I've been watching Co.Di.S with interest for a while.
Thank you.
One question I have is about transfer of the game of function to the areas of function. So it's impressive to see that 24 months to the rate of somatic frequency. But does that really translate to how well people do shopping in the supermarket? The reason I'm asking is,
It's a good.
lower frequency. We can say with confidence they're not going to do well in functioning. But people with very low frequency still have same problems as well. So how do we really move from gain in cognition to functioning? What's the person?
First of all, thank you. It's a good consideration because our aim is the real life. So the translation of this. It's not simple for us. We are to measure this. If I understand well, we are talking about people that work with virtual reality in order to test in virtual environment different real life activities and situations before and after our training, our Co.Di.S. And I have to answer well to you, but it's not simple. We have several lines to develop the next future to answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Very, very interesting program and data. I have a question on the hierarchy of cognitive function and where this training should be administered according to you. So if we go back to Stefano's this idea that there should be a progression starting with cognition, social cognition, and then possibly pragmatics. When should this kind of training be administered? My guess is before pragmatic, between social cognition.
I understand very well. I appreciate also the questions and the answer that preceded before my presentation. I don't have an answer based on our experience. What we do a very simple thing. We follow each subject at the end of the session and we observe how respect to the beginning and respect to the previous session improves in cognition. If this type of improving is very high, we pass to Co.Di.S. So we start Co.Di.S. So for us, currently, basic cognition or cold cognition is the unique aspect that we have in consideration to start this type of process. But I cannot exclude, we discussed much with Valerio, also with other colleagues, to avoid, and I have to reveal this, we start with metacognitive training. Why not? Particularly, these patients are patients at first episode of psychosis, less than 5 years, absolutely, no more than 1 episode of psychosis. So young people, mainly because we work in a university hospital, it's really important, the frequency, and parents are present with young guys and young girls. But we cannot exclude that at the beginning of psychosis, the alteration of basic cognition is not too, so it's not too alterated. And we can start with MCT, or at the beginning, why not? For example, in ultra-risk for psychosis, we can start with an MCT program, so metacognitive training, Moritz, 8 sessions. And after this, a protocol on semantics, why not? So I cannot absolutely exclude, I don't have a theoretical aspect. I started from the evidence that categories in general semantics improves, but not much as the other areas. And this is our first step. So the really pragmatic aspect, not the theoretical, not an hypothesis specific, but I understand very well what you are
It's
thinking.
clinically driven.
Absolutely, yes.
A sort of pragmatic reserve you're looking for. Pragmatic reserve that
Why not?
that you can use every time you process a level. I have a little question. What is the role of IQ and all this? And more with IQ also, because IQ is measured with also with verbal fluency
Absolutely, yes.
and so on. This is a question for all.
Yeah, I think it's a good question, this, and we have this measure, but there are, I did not perform analysis on that. Absolutely, only 10 subjects, but we have that measure with the TIP, TIB, we use that one, it's an Italian scale for yeah. You know.
It's an Italian version of the.
Yes, but I don't know how much is the.
It's not so.
I cannot exclude. I cannot exclude. In the future, I hope to answer more data too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now Lorenzo Pellizza from the University of Bologna. And Azienda Health Sanitary Department talks us about the organization dimension in early psychosis.